All right, happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. We've got a 16-game MLB slate. We do have doubleheader in the Yankees Blue Jays. They got rained out yesterday. So let's talk about the recap from yesterday. We had Tigers money line in game one, cashed that. Clay Holmes over 4.5 Ks. Couldn't get the Ks, so we missed that one. Mets first five minus a half a run, cashed that. Baltimore, Detroit, game two over 8.5. We hooked, ended up at 8. Baltimore scored 2 runs, man. It was 6-2. Lots of opportunities there, too. We just could not get a clutch hit from Baltimore. It was very frustrating. And then last one was Reds, team total over 5.5. We did hit this. It got a little sweaty. We hit it in the top of the ninth, but hey, we got the job done. 3-2, up a little over a half a unit. So positive day, but I got 7 best bets for you guys today. So we're going to go through every game. It's Sunday. Sunday, fun day. Got to be a little careful. I don't love 7 plays, but I saw value in every single one of these. So we'll see. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Join the Discord. Link is down below. Absolutely free. Very cool place. And then if you guys are into Nerfies, I will post a link. One of the guys in the Discord runs a website called Nerfy. So it's NRFI-Central. I'll post it in the pinned comments. Awesome site. He puts a lot of time into it, and he's been absolutely crushing that. So make sure you guys go check that out. Pretty cool. All right, first game on the card is going to be the Blue Jays and the Yankees. We've got Max Fried going up against Kevin Gausman. This is a tough one. But if we look at Gausman, he hasn't had the best track record in New York the last 2 times he's been there. So last year he got absolutely shelled. That said, do I think he gets shelled today? Probably not. But I do like the Yankees in this one. It's going to be 57 degrees, mid-humidity, mid-pressure. We got a 17-mile-an-hour wind that's going to be slightly blowing out to right field. So why do I like the Yankees in this one? First off, the Yankees are going to be hitting 6 left-handed hitters. Right field is very short porch. Toronto is only going to be hitting 3. Now, if we look at the pitch splits for Gausman, not great. Yankees are 7th hitting the fastball, which he throws 55% of the time. And then he throws the splitter sinker pitch about 33% of the time. So the vast majority of his pitches. Yankees are 2nd hitting the splitter and the slider. Conversely, we look at Toronto versus Max Fried's pitch splits, significantly better. Toronto does hit the curveball well. They're actually the best hitting curveball team in the MLB. Aside from that, every single one of his pitches, they are bottom 7 or bottom 5 in. So I love that for him. Struggling to hit with runners in scoring position, just struggling to hit in general, really struggling to hit against lefties. So I love this spot for Max Fried today. If we look at Gausman, he's been pitching okay, right? His last start was at Houston. He gave up 4 earned. Against Atlanta, he gave up 2. That's a very sporadic offense. At Boston, he pitched great. Went 8 innings, no earned runs. Against the Mets, he gave up 3 earned runs. And against Baltimore, he gave up 2. Now we go to Max Fried. He has been really, really good. He has given up 2 or less earned runs in every start. Last start was against Tampa Bay. Went into the 8th inning, 2 hits, no earned runs. Prior to that, Kansas City went into the 7th, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. Against Detroit, went 7 innings, no earned runs. At Pittsburgh, 1 earned run. Versus Milwaukee, 2 earned runs. So I love the spot here for him. If we look at the Blue Jays versus lefties, they haven't really gotten to any of the lefties. That said, they faced some decent ones. They faced Cade Povich last on April 13th, got 2 off of him. Garrett Crochet, they only got 1. David Peterson, they only got 1. And then Mackenzie Gore, they got 3 at the very beginning of the season. So really haven't faced a ton of left-handed starters. So I like this spot for the Yankees. So we do have 3 official plays in this game. So we are going to take Max Fried over 4.5 Ks. I know Toronto doesn't strike out a lot, but they have been striking out a lot more against lefties. We're also going to take a race. So we are going to take the Yankees race to 3, Yankees race to 4. I don't mind kind of laddering that and doing 5 as well. That might be one that ends up making my card ultimately, but just did the 3 and the 4. All right, next game, Mets and the Nationals. Really wish the Mets would have gotten a few more runs because I did have them on the run line last night, so they made it sweaty with a 2-0 win. But hey, they got the job done. All right, in this one, we've got Tyler McGill going up against Mitchell Parker. So it's going to be 72 degrees, pretty low humidity, mid-pressure, so not amazing for carry. We are going to have a 15-mile-an-hour wind that's going to be blowing in kind of from in between left field and third base. So a bit of an angled wind. If we look at the Mets, they have 7 righties today, so they're going to be kind of hitting into the wind. If we look at Washington, they have 7 lefties, so I would almost give them the advantage here. But if we look at Mitchell Parker, 2 games versus the Mets last season, that's all he's faced them. He's 0-1 with a 9.31 ERA. Gave up 5 earned runs in both starts. So, not great. 9.2 innings pitched, 12 hits, 10 earned runs, 6 Ks. Had 5 Ks in one game, 1 K in another. I really want to take his under 4.5 Ks, but didn't pull the trigger on it. I kind of want to take McGill under his Ks as well. All right, big thing for the Mets today. There's going to be no Mentor and no Diaz today. So they're pretty much missing their setup and their closer today. Now, Washington's bullpen's in really good shape. So I think it's a coin toss game. I don't love the splits here. Washington hits the fastball really well. McGill throws that about 67% of the time. He's basically a 2-pitch pitcher. He's a fastball slider guy. Slider, Washington's not great. 28th in hitting the slider, but they are number 3 hitting the fastball. So this feels like a weird Sunday spot. That said, if I look at the projected stats, the Mets have an advantage. Like Tyrone Taylor has a nice advantage here. Mark Vientos, Luis Torrens. So the bottom of their lineup has an advantage, but just don't know if I can get behind it. If we look at the Mets versus left-handed pitching, they've done okay. Christopher Sanchez, they got 2. Liberatore, they got 2. JP Sears, they got 3. Framber Valdez, 0. So it just feels like a sneaky spot on a Sunday where the Nats are going to pull this off. So I am going to fade this game. But I would actually lean just taking Nats on like the +1.5 here. All right, next game, Angels and the Twins. Jose Soriano going against Joe Ryan. If we look at this bullpens for both, Minnesota's bullpen's in good shape, and the Angels are in kind of okay shape. Reed Detmers went 29 yesterday. Johnson went 34 yesterday. But this is just a spot where I think Joe Ryan has a really good day. We're going to get a little risky here. We're going to do a negative correlation play for close to +200 here. So we are going to take Joe Ryan to go under 7.5 Ks and the Twins to win. It's a little risky, I'm not going to lie. Joe Ryan could definitely get 8 Ks, so we're going to get a little risky here. But Jose Soriano pitch split, giving up a 304 average to lefties, 245 to righties, pretty high hard hit percentage. Joe Ryan, 224 to lefties, 231 to righties. A little bit higher of a hard hit percentage, though. So a little bit of pause for concern there. But I just don't really love the split against these guys. And Joe Ryan coming off a pretty bad start against Atlanta where he gave up 6 earned runs on 8 hits. So I like a little bounce back start here. If we look at Soriano, he's been okay. He got hit pretty hard in the Pittsburgh game. He gave up 5. Game before that against Texas, 10 hits, 3 earned runs. Been giving up a ton of hits. So Cleveland got him for 5 hits, 5 earned runs. So I just don't like this spot for the Angels today. So twin spot for me. All right, next game is going to be the Red Sox and the Guardians. This one should be an interesting game. We got Brian Bayo making his second start going up against Logan Allen, who Logan Allen's looked like a Cy Young candidate so far this year. He's got a 2.11 ERA, opponent average of 2.25. If we look at the weather here, 54 degrees, mid-humidity, and high pressure. So not great for carry. That said, yesterday was a terrible day for carry, and we saw a lot of runs. It's going to be an 8-mile-an-hour wind blowing in from left field, so it is advantage to the lefties. Cleveland is loaded with them. Should have 8 lefties in the lineup. Boston's only going to have 2. If we look at the bullpens, Cleveland and Boston are in pretty good shape. Coming off a doubleheader, they're surprisingly very healthy in the bullpens. Just kind of overall today, bullpens are extremely healthy. It's pretty surprising. But don't love the pitch splits here for Allen. That said, the lefty advantage is pretty significant. Brian Bayo only pitched 1 game. Pitched a really good game against Seattle. 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. We look at Logan Allen. He's been really good, aside from, if we look at April anyway. His last 3 starts have been really good. 1 earned run, 0 earned run, 0 earned runs. Now, before that, not as great, but if we go back to last year. But so far this year, pretty good. 1 bad start against the Padres where he gave up 4. That's it. If we look at Boston versus left-handed pitching, they've been able to get to it, but they really haven't faced many. They faced Martin Perez twice, and they got to him both times. Easton Lucas, who has now been optioned to the minors, pitched really well against them. 5.1 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs. Cade Povich, they got 3 off of Cade Povich. So it feels like a Cleveland spot here. I would lean Cleveland minus 115. It's just too much of an advantage there. But this is one, like, it wouldn't shock me if Boston won either. So I'm fading this game personally. Next game is going to be the Tigers and the Orioles. We have Dean Kramer going up against Tariq Skubal. It's a lefty against Baltimore, who struggled to hit yesterday. They should struggle to hit today. This team has been abysmal offensively. I don't love this lineup. They're going to be rolling out 8 righties, but some of their good lefty bats are going to be out today. Yeah, I mean, if we look at Baltimore, they threw 6 bullpen arms yesterday. Now, if we go to the Detroit side, they threw Brent Herter 45 pitches. They threw Vest 33. They threw Tyler Holton 29. So I do have some concerns about that Detroit bullpen. But I think Tariq Skubal has a day. One play I really wanted to take, haven't pulled the trigger on it, is Tariq Skubal over 6.5 Ks, minus 130 on DraftKings. At least it was earlier, much higher on other books. So one of the other plays I looked at was the Detroit Tigers race to 4 runs. You can get that at a pretty decent value. Just with the weather, it's going to be 66 degrees, low humidity, high pressure, not great for carry. We got a 3-mile-an-hour wind blowing out slightly to right field. Home runs are going to be down quite a bit, like 33%. Runs are down 7, but off of Kramer with a 6.84 ERAs, 2-3 on the year, an opponent average of 324. I mean, it's just not good. Giving up a 356 average to lefties, 278 to righties. Now, Skubal, definitely weaker against righties, giving up a 272 average versus a 167, but you're just going to have that with a lefty on the mound. Pitch splits look terrible for Dean Kramer. Basically, his 3 pitches are fastball, cutter, and kind of a splitter. Throws a curveball every once in a while. Detroit's crushing fastball, cutter, and sliders. So Detroit race to 4 would be a good option. I had it on the card and took it off. But yeah, I just don't see an angle here to get to Baltimore with a lefty on the mound and Dean Kramer pitching. Just not a good combo. All right, next game, Astros and the Royals. Astros bullpen's in great shape. Framber won a complete game last night, so it was 2-0 win. Pretty crazy game there. Hunter Brown going up against Chris Dbacks today. It's going to be 61 degrees, high humidity, high pressure, with a 12-mile-an-hour wind blowing out to left field. This is one where we got 2 very good pitchers this year. Dbacks 2-1 with a 207 opponent average. Hunter Brown 3-1 with a 163 opponent average. Both of these pitchers sub 1.5 ERAs. So really good pitching duel here. Bit of a coin flip for me. I think the Astros being favored on the road. Probably, I would lean Royals here at plus 114. They've taken the first 2. They've won 6 in a row. Whereas the Astros are 6-4 in their last 10, lost the last 2, 4-7 on the road. Kansas City is 11-4 at home. So no reason for me not to take the Royals here. The only angle would be the Astros have hit lefties pretty well. So left-handed pitching has gone pretty well, but I just don't know how many runs we're going to get. Like, you look at Hunter Brown, he has not given up an earned run in his last 3 games. So you could look at that 2 ways. He's due, or he's just absolutely on fire. He hasn't given up more than 4 hits in his last 3 starts. 2 hits, 4 hits, 2 hits. We look at Dbacks, pretty good as well. New York did get to him in Yankee Stadium, got 3 off of him. Cleveland got 2 off of him, but that's it, man. He's given up, he's hung a lot of zeros. So 3 of his starts have been 0 earned runs. So just 2 really good pitchers. Maybe look at a first 5 under, I think could be an option here. But with the wind blowing out, I just got a little nervous. I think the Nerfie's a really good angle here too. It's just juiced at like minus 130. So a couple of good teams. 7.5's a little rich for me in terms of an over under, but I would probably still lean towards the under. All right, but that should be a good game, at least defensively. All right, Brew Crew and the Cardinals. We've got Jose Quintana going up against Eric Fetty. It's going to be 52 degrees, high humidity, high pressure. So not great for carry. And we have a 9-mile-an-hour wind blowing in from right field. This team, more righties on both teams. Milwaukee's going to have 4 lefties in the lineup. St. Louis will have 3. Milwaukee's bullpen's in okay shape. Uribe threw 28 yesterday. Payamps threw 28 yesterday. If we look at St. Louis, Maton's gone back-to-back days. I guess he probably could go today, but probably won't. He threw 26 on Saturday, 18 on Sunday, but overall, fairly healthy bullpens. Quintana's been really good on the season, 3-0 with a .96 ERA, opponent average of 215. Eric Fedde, ERA of 3.33, 1-2 on the year, but an opponent average of 194. This Cardinals team, they've been hitting lefties, so it's one thing you got to watch out for. Last game against David Peterson in New York, I think it was actually at home, I'm sorry. At home, they got 3 off of him. They got 7 off of Framber Valdez. They got Sanchez for 1, Newcomb for 1. They got 3 off Kikuchi, 3 off of Tyler Anderson. So they've been hitting lefties really well. So I think it's a spot here to take the Cardinals. I wouldn't mind taking them at -115. Don't mind the Nerfy in this game. Could look to play the under, but more Cardinals, I think, on getaway day. Pitch splits, for Quintana. Cardinals are 4th hitting the fastball, and they're 1st hitting the changeup. So his first 2 primary pitches. So maybe look at like a Cardinals first 5, but I don't mind the full game either. 2 pretty bad bullpens, if I'm being honest. But yeah, like I said, I like the Nerfy here. Brewers, 3rd fewest first inning runs. Cardinals, 4th fewest first inning runs. So Nerfy is very live in that one. Next game, Reds and the Rockies. This one should be an interesting game in Coors. It's going to be 80 degrees, low humidity, low pressure with a 20-mile-an-hour wind blowing straight out to center field. So home runs are going to be up 36%, runs up 32%. We get an over-under of 11. I really wanted to just smash the over, but I like the way the Reds look right now. My only issue is this is going to be Lodolo's first start in Coors. A little different. If we look at the lefty-righty splits here, just because Lodolo is significantly weaker against lefties. Colorado has only got 1 in the lineup today. He's given up a 333 average to lefties, 198 to righties. If we look at Feltner, same thing. He's given up a 277 average to lefties, 192 to righties, since he will have 3 lefties in that lineup today. In terms of the bullpens, Ian Jabot was sent to the IL, so he will be out for Cincinnati. You've got their closer, Pagan, who's gone on back-to-back days, and you've got to think about the next game where the Reds are going to be traveling back home to play the Cardinals in a divisional game. So it's highly unlikely we'd see Pagan go today. That said, if we look at Colorado, they had Bird, who threw 34 yesterday. Kenley threw 40. So they do have their main arms available, but their bullpen is just so bad. So I'm not worried about their bullpen. I like the Reds in this spot. Give me the Reds race to 5, and I like them to win the game. But at -155, it's a little steep. You can still look at Reds team total over, but another angle we're going to take in this one. So we've got 2 plays in this. We're going to take Reds race to 5 at -125 on DraftKings, and we are going to take over 2.5 home runs at -135. So a little juiced, but given the conditions here, we should see some home runs in this game. All right, next game is going to be the White Sox and the Athletics. We got Davis Martin going up against Osvaldo Bido. We got a 4-mile-an-hour wind blowing in slightly from right, 57 degrees with high humidity and mid-pressure. So we got an over-under of 9. It looks like, might have jumped to 9.5 now. But if you can get a 9, I don't mind the 9. We saw Chicago yesterday just absolutely trounce the A's early. Got off to a big lead and then just kind of cruised in. But yeah, this is a spot here. I don't trust either of these pitchers. Vito's got a 4.85 ERA. Martin's a 4 ERA. Both of them have a really high opponent average, 275 plus for both. It's just a weird spot. Both of them hard hit percentages are high. I would just take the over and move on. My only issue is both of these bullpens are actually in really good shape, but they're not fantastic bullpens, but I would just take the over. All right, next game, Rangers and the Giants. Good game yesterday. Ended up coming down to the wire there. I believe it went into extras. I think the Giants won in the bottom of the 9th, actually. It's going to be 52 degrees with high humidity and mid-pressure with a 9-mile-an-hour wind blowing out the center field. Giants have a bullpen advantage today, so I do think that they have a pretty good advantage here. Several of these guys in the Rangers bullpen would be going 3 of the last 4 days. So I give the Giants a massive bullpen advantage here. So I would lean Giants money line in this one. Jordan Hicks, I don't necessarily want to trust him. He's 1-3, giving up in a 2.69 opponent average and a 6.59 ERA. So I don't love this spot. Last couple of starts here, he faced Milwaukee, got shelled, 8 hits, 5 earned runs at home. At Philly, he got 6 hits, 5 earned runs. At New York, 8 hits, 7 earned runs. Versus Seattle, 6 hits, 3 earned runs. So it's a little hard to get behind him. Huge pitching advantage towards Texas. That said, Leiter hasn't pitched since April 2nd. So I don't know how much runway he's going to have, which means they're going to have to go into their bullpen. And I think that's where the Giants have the advantage. So I just kind of want to take an over in this spot. Just take the over 8 and move on because I do think Texas should be able to get the Hicks. I think the Giants will score off this Texas bullpen, maybe not necessarily off a Leiter, but I would lean Giants money line or the over in that game. All right, next one's going to be the Braves and the D-backs. So that was a wild game last night. Eugenio Suarez with 4 home runs. Just an absolute crazy game last night. We got Spencer Schwellenbach versus Brandon Pfaadt tonight. 9-mile-an-hour wind blowing out to right field. It's going to be 77 degrees with low humidity and mid-pressure. So pretty much a neutral game. Runs are up +7. Atlanta's bullpen's in good shape. Arizona, not so good. They had Diaz, who threw 60 on Friday, so probably not available. They had Ryan Nelson, who threw 54 on Thursday. Maybe available, but probably not. So I don't love the arms that are left in that Arizona bullpen. And there's a big pitching advantage towards Atlanta, in my opinion. That said, Pfaadt's pitched pretty well this season. He's 4-1 with a 2.73 ERA. Schwellenbach 1-1 with a 2.03 opponent average and a 2.56 ERA. Really, for Schwellenbach, he's had one bad start. Toronto absolutely smacked him around in Toronto. 6 hits, 6 earned runs. So that's, other than that, it's been kind of 2-1 and nothing. If we look at Pfaadt, he had 2 bad games. His first 2 starts were a little rough. Gave up 3 against the Cubs, gave up 4 against the Nats, but his last 3 starts have been really good. No earned runs versus the Orioles, 1 earned run versus Miami, 1 earned run versus the Rays. So, but if I just look at the pitchers in the matchup, huge advantage to the Atlanta side. So give me the Braves -115 in this one, and they have the bullpen advantage. So one of the plays that almost made my card will probably be something I end up betting at some point today. All right, next game is going to be the Pirates and the Dodgers. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I had the Dodgers last night, and I just needed them on the money line. And that got real sweaty. That got uncomfortably sweaty. But they ended up just absolutely exploding in the 8th to win by, I think, 4. So I think it was 8-4. Glasnow going up against Bailey Falter. If we look at Glasnow, he's given up 3 hits or less in every start so far. So he's having a really good start. Weather-wise, it's going to be 59 degrees, mid-humidity, mid-pressure, and 11-mile-an-hour wind blowing out to right center. Both bullpens are actually in pretty good shape here, so I'm not too worried about the bullpens. We look at Bailey Falter. He's 1-2 on the year with a 5.19 ERA, giving up an opponent average of 250. Going up against Tyler Glasnow, 1-0, 3.71 ERA, 164 opponent average. Glasnow has been ridiculously good against righties, giving up a .036 average to righties, but giving up a 273 average to lefties. We look at Falter, weak against lefties, 409 average to lefties, 211 to righties, a 50% hard hit percentage. That's ridiculously high. Let's see, if we look at his games, last start was at Los Angeles, went 4 innings, gave up 3 earned. Good start prior to that against Washington, 7 hits, no earned runs. Cincinnati went 5 innings, 3 earned runs. New York, 7 earned runs. Miami, 2 earned runs. So not the worst starts ever. For Glasnow, he had 1 bad start. He got lit up against Philly. He only went 2 innings, gave up 2 hits, 5 earned runs. Last start, he only went 4 innings, gave up 3 hits, no earned runs. So he ended up coming out of that one early, still had 6 Ks through 4 innings. So I just don't see an angle here to take Pittsburgh. I mean, you're getting plus 250, which is great, but I don't trust his bullpen whatsoever. And if we look at the Dodgers versus lefties, they've hit them very well. Last starter was Matthew Boyd. They got 6 runs off of him. They got 5 off of Shota Imanaga. They got 3 off of Boyd again, 2 off of Gore, 4 off of Sanchez, 3 off of Sale, 4 off of Scooble, 5 off of Justin Steele. So they have faced a ton of lefties already this year, and they have smacked them. So you can take Dodgers run line, but man, you're just not getting any value whatsoever to take them. But it is a Dodger spot here, in my opinion. All right, next game is going to be the Tampa Bay Rays and the Padres. Man, Dylan Cease is just so bad. He's just not a guy I can back. I wish I would have played the Rays. I wish I would have actually taken the Rays spot there because it was a pretty good spot to face them. Today it's going to be 2 bad starters, Littell and Randy Vasquez going up against each other. Zach Littell 0-5 on the year with a 5.28 ERA, opponent average of 259. Going up against Randy Vasquez 1-2 with a 229 opponent average, 3.97 ERA. Last start, we saw shades of the real Randy Vasquez. He got absolutely shelled. He went 2 innings against Detroit, 5 hits, 6 earned runs, but every other start has been really good. That said, I will not put any faith whatsoever in Randy Vasquez. If we look at Zach Littell, gave up 3 earned runs against Arizona away in his last start. Pretty good start against Boston, only gave up 1 earned run. Got smacked against the Angels, 8 hits, 7 earned runs. Rangers smacked him, 5 earned runs, and his first start of the year was pretty good, but it was against the Rockies. So no faith in any starter today. I would give the advantage to Tampa Bay here. They have a pretty significant advantage if we just look at splits here. Can't trust this Padres offense. They're really struggling right now. So I wouldn't take an over. I would lean Rays on the money line. If we look at Padres bullpen, Adams went 23 yesterday. Matsui went 23. But everybody else is okay. Tampa Bay's bullpen's in really good shape. It's going to be 61 degrees, mid-humidity, high pressure, so not good for carry. And we've got an 11-mile-an-hour wind basically blowing from left field to right field or third base to first base, however you want to say it. So, yeah, give me – I don't necessarily know if I want to go full game just because that Padres bullpen is pretty stout. So, and I just don't know if I can trust Littell. It's just 2 really bad pitchers, man. Take the over 8. I would just take the over. One of them is going to get lit up. Next game is going to be the Marlins and the Mariners. Bryce Miller going up against Max Meyer. Meyer, that last start against the Reds was freaking insane. He had 14 Ks in 6 innings, 5 hits, no earned runs, 8 Ks in the start prior to that against the Dbacks. So ever since he really started throwing that changeup slider combo and just not really throwing the fastball much right now, he has been ridiculously efficient. So going up against a Mariners team that loves to strike out. Bryce Miller on the other side, a little bumpy last start. At Fenway, went 4.2 innings, gave up 4. Prior to that against the Reds, pretty good. 5 innings, no earned runs. Good start against the Rangers. At San Fran, he got lit up a little bit, gave up 4. And the A's got him for 3 at home. So it kind of feels like a sneaky spot after what happened last night. Connor Gillespie just got destroyed. It felt like a football game. So that got real bad real quick. But surprisingly, both pins are actually in pretty decent shape. I would maybe look at a Marlins first 5 here. I think you are getting some value. I think Meyer should be able to somewhat dissipate them. He's got a 2.10 ERA on the season, whereas Miller's 4.21. Meyer's been really good against lefties, okay against righties, 260 average. Miller 276 average to righties, 200 to lefties. Both of them very similar hard hit percentages. So I do think there is some value in taking the Marlins today. I just don't know if I want to get to the back half of that bullpen, which is pretty trash. So Marlins first 5 for me or nothing in this one. Next game, Blue Jays and the Yankees, game 2. Need to see how game 1 goes, but Chris Bassett going up against Clark Schmidt. If we look at Chris Bassett, he's had a pretty good season. Last start was his worst start of the year. It was against Houston, went 5.1 innings, gave up 4. Other than that, it's 0 or 1 in every other start. We look at Clark Schmidt, really tough start to the season for him. At Cleveland, he got lit up 4 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs versus Kansas City at home. He went into the 6th, 4 hits, 3 earned runs. I guess not terrible, but that last start was pretty bad. I just don't know if I can get behind Clark Schmidt. This is probably a zigzag for me, but man, the pitch splits for Bassett are just horrendously bad. Yankees are hitting everything he throws, so have to see what goes on in the first game. Good news for Bassett. he's super good against righties and weak against lefties. So that's the only thing he has going for him. But probably a zigzag of game one would be the way I would lean. So whoever wins game one, take him to lose game two, but we'll see. And then last play on the card, or last game, is going to be the Sunday night game with the Phillies and the Cubs. Pretty wild game yesterday. One of the plays I give out in Discord was no home run in that game at plus 220. Seventh inning, Kepler just hit the perfect ball. Right, the only place you could hit it out yesterday was right down right field line. It went out by like a foot, so that sucked. But Phillies absolutely dominated yesterday. This should be an interesting game. Nola is 0-5 on the season with a 6.43 ERA. Almost a 300 opponent average going up against Jameson Taillon. 1-1 with a 4.73 ERA, 2.38 opponent average. It's going to be 50 degrees, mid-humidity, high pressure, not good for carry. And we got a 7-mile-an-hour wind, basically going to be blowing from right field to left field. If it is in a little bit, significant impact. If we look at Nola, though, he's been really good at Wrigley. I don't say really good, but record-wise, he's good. 4-1. But he has a 5.50 ERA in 6 games. He's given up 3 earned runs or 4 earned runs in every single game he's pitched at Wrigley. It's either 3 or a 4. If we look at Cubs, I do have some concerns about their bullpen. Roberts went 33 yesterday, and then you got Palencia and Pomeranz have gone back-to-back days, so they would be throwing 3 straight days. Phillies bullpen's in much better shape, so I would lean Phillies in this one, minus 118. Nola is still a better pitcher than Taillon, and we saw that offense kind of roar to life yesterday. However, conversely, you got the zigzag effect where the team that kind of gets stomped usually comes back and does pretty good the next game. I just don't know if I can get behind Nola, though. Against the Mets in his last start, 7 hits, 4 earned runs. Against the Giants, 9 hits, 6 earned runs. Cardinals was pretty good, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. Gave up 3 against the Dodgers, 5 against the Nats. If we look at Taillon, he's been decent. Against Arizona, 5 innings, 1 earned run. At the Padres, gave up 2 earned runs. Rangers got him for 3. A's got him for 2. And then at Dbacks to start the season, he got clobbered. 9 hits, 6 earned runs. So this guy is not going to strike out a ton of people. That said, Phillies lineup they've been striking out a ton. It's a coin flippy game, man. But I would lean Phillies in this one just to end up winning this game. So those are the games today. Let's get into our best bets, get you guys on your way. First best bet, like I said, it's going to be Max Fried over 4.5 Ks. I just think this is too low. I think because it's a doubleheader, he's going to have a little bit of a longer runway. He's definitely going to go 6 innings, so I like him to get this. Then we're going to do the Yankees race to 3, race to 4, and then Joe Ryan under 7.5 Ks and the Twins money line. Now, if you don't want to do the negative correlation, you can get Joe Ryan over 6.5 Ks on DraftKings and pair that with the money line. But without the negative correlation, you don't get the bigger bump. So it would be significantly less. But I don't mind that as well. And then Reds race to 5 at minus 125 on DraftKings. And then we're going to take Cincinnati, Colorado over 2.5 home runs, projecting 3 today. But like I said, it's 20-mile-an-hour wind blowing out. 2 guys that are kind of evenly split on the 5 balls, but terrible bullpen for the Rockies. They'll give up at least 1. And then the Reds probably will too. And then last play on the card is going to be Dodgers race to 5. We talked about the pitch splits for the Dodgers. They just absolutely crushed lefties. So no reason that Glass now should get absolutely shelled today. So I do like that play at minus 115. All right, guys. Appreciate you tuning in to the channel. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.